During the 1880s around, we think, this adobe was sheathed by a wooden structure that was built around the entire adobe. There might have been a number of different reasons for this. I speculate that, for one thing, the adobe doesn't do well in the wet property. Perhaps they were trying to save the adobe at that point because it was getting weathered and because the kind of work that it took to keep remudding the house might have been too much to take on. There could have been that kind of reason. Another reason is that they really wanted to fit in. This family really wanted to fit in to the countryside. You would not be able to say, oh, the Spanish people live there, or oh, the greasers live there. They look like this looked like a farmhouse, which is what it was. Now, apparently, if you read some of the early history of California, this isn't a unique solution to a problem. They just encased the porches on the outside of the house using the same footprint of the house, so they had like rooms that came into rooms. Another part of it that I had read about, not in particular to my family, but this was a fortress inside here. So here we are living on the outskirts of civilization, basically, in some very uncertain times. When the family moved here, as I had mentioned before, we were on the edge of civilization, really, if you call it civilization. It's the edge of where European settlements were. But as we get into the 49ers and the Americans coming in from up here, and there was a lot of changes happening for people. So there was a lot of violence. This is getting on to the years where the Civil War happened. And all of these factors affected this family here, even though we were sort of on the edge of it. So there could have been protection too. They had essentially a fortress within their farmhouse. But whatever the reasons for why they did it, it really saved the adobe. There are not many adobe houses like this left in California, and the reason that it was able to survive at all was because of this farmhouse built around it. I've always thought it was interesting to look at some of the plantings around the house. You'll notice that this 175-year-old elm tree is showing back here during this time, which is somewhere around, we think, 1890. Also, at the same time that this elm was planted, or around the same time, a orange seedling, or perhaps seeds, I'm not exactly sure in which form it came from, was planted right outside the adobe, and it is genetically been determined to be the second oldest Valencia orange tree in California. The first being somewhere in Southern California, we're not exactly sure. We do know where the story has been given for many, many years that it was our neighbor, Mr. Wolfskill, who gave us the seedling for that tree. The tree is still producing amazingly, and it tastes really, really good.